Yo, what is up, guys? Happy Tuesday. Hopefully, everyone is having the best day ever so far. So, I made this post a couple hours ago regarding Flex Pro Meals, which is like a healthy, high protein, macro friendly meal prep delivery company service. So, basically, if you guys are ever like in terms of like super busy and you don't have enough time to go grocery shopping, get all the healthy foods, prepare your healthy foods, and then actually batch or like putting it in like Tupperware containers and putting it in your fridge. I mean, all of that's like, if you guys do have enough time, awesome. Please go ahead and do that. And it's also a lot cheaper doing it that way, but it does cost a lot of money, right? And as you guys know, time is money nowadays, and a lot of people just simply don't have enough time to do that, right? You guys work all the time. I work all the time, so it can be difficult to like allocate a couple hours out of your day to like do the grocery shopping, make the chicken breast, make the sweet potatoes, the rice, all that good stuff, and then putting it actually into like individual Tupperware containers and then popping it in your fridge. That could take like a couple hours out of your day, an entire afternoon, right? And so if you guys are super busy, I would definitely recommend checking out this Flex Pro Meal website. You can get this all over the US basically. And they basically offer you some pretty tasty meals. Depending on how many you get, there will be different prices, and also based on like what kind you want to get. So you can definitely select some of them. These are super delicious. I have usually maybe like one every other day for dinner time when I'm like after a long day at work or after a long day of working. I'm like, okay, the last thing I want to do right now is just like actually make food. So having these in like your freezer storage, they're absolutely amazing. The sesame chicken is the one I usually have. But there's a bunch of different ones you could choose from. So all super delicious, and plus are also very low in calories. They could fit anyone's macros, and the macros are super friendly as well, right? It's usually low carb, higher on the fats, I will be honest, and then pretty high protein as well, right? So if you're in the US, definitely go ahead and try that out. But I did want to make this quick video to answer Sean's random question. So he asked me, how do you get sponsored by all these companies? Was it just one day they were like, yo, Conan, you want to be partner of our team? So regarding this question, guys, I'm not sure if anyone actually has goals of wanting to have like a sponsorship like this, but ultimately what it comes down to, and you have to look at it from like their perspective. Like, why would, let's say, Flex Pro Meals, right, or any other supplement company like My Protein, the supplement company, or Hard Body, the lifting equipment company, or even like a clothing company, right? It's Alpha Elite, Young LA, Raw Gear, all these companies, right? Like, you have to look at it from their perspective, from like a company's perspective. Why would they want to, let's say, hire or sponsor this person? Well, there's one of two things, one of two main reasons, right? Number one, they have big audience, right? In terms of like they're like an influencer, they influence other people. So if this big company tells this one person like, hey, we'll send you free clothes if you promote it for us, it's almost as like more eyeballs on them, right? It's almost like they're paying for ads in a way, but instead of actually paying for ads, they're actually paying for human beings. And a lot of these human beings, right, these influencers have like almost like personal relationship with like their followers and with their fans, right? So by Young LA or by any company sponsoring this one individual who has a massive audience, let's say they have like a couple thousand followers, a couple tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of followers, right? Like they're just paying this one individual, they're just paying this one person, they're sitting close to this one person to get eyeballs on up to potentially hundreds of thousands of eyeballs, right? So from a marketing perspective, that is why most companies want to have these athletes or these ambassadors to like help promote their stuff, right? It's honestly, it's amazing for them, right? It's great marketing for them, more eyeballs on them, and the ad spends, or at least the spend on marketing and ads, is probably going to be a lot lower as opposed to just like putting in some money on like Facebook ads or Instagram ads or YouTube ads or Google ads or something like that, right? So from a business perspective, that's why most companies do it, right? And now in order to actually find yourself in a situation where other companies will reach out to you like, hey, we'll send you some clothes if you can promote it for us, or hey, we want to sign you as a sponsored athlete, all this stuff, right? Two main things that at least that I did personally. And if you guys, I think specifically Sean, if you want to get into this in terms of like creating content, is number one, provide value, right? In order to like actually grow an audience and like have enough eyeballs on you for companies to actually reach out to you and say, hey, try out our stuff. Hey, here's some whatever. Number one, provide value, right? Because you have to ask yourself from like let's say the consumer's perspective, or at least like the follower's perspective, why on earth would they want to follow anyone, right? Like the only reason why people follow each other, or unless they're like friends, of course, or family members, but in terms of like growing beyond that, right? Probably have only 20 to 30 Or let's say if you have a bunch of friends, maybe up to 100 people that could follow you, right? It's just like organically, naturally, just through knowing you, right? But beyond that, why would people follow you, right? The main reason for that is to provide value. And now the way you can provide value to an audience is like you can do it in a number of different ways, right? You can either post informative content, educational stuff. You can either provide value in terms of like making them laugh, like that is still value, right? So it could be entertainment, it could be education. Those are honestly the two biggest ones, right? Because there are subcategories within each. Because I would view entertainment as like a funny podcast, or like a funny video, or like a comedy, right? So there's so many different sub genres when it comes to like comedy, and then also when it comes to education, right? There's so many different ways people can educate. You can either go do super boring and go in front of like the way a teacher would do it in front of like a board, write things down, or you could just like sit down and maybe like visually show them, be a teacher, right? You could talk about how to become a better soccer player, or you could actually show how you can become a better soccer player. There's so many different ways that you can like teach as well. So those are the two main ways that you can provide value to an audience, right? Through education or entertainment, right? And there's different sub categories within that. And then eventually your audience will start to grow. And it's really important, again, like I really don't want to go too much into detail, but when you do provide value, make sure that it's on a specific topic or a specific problem. So let's say you're amazing at soccer, you love playing soccer. That's obviously within the genre of sports. Like you're not telling a person how to become a better athlete, you're telling this person how to specifically become a better soccer player, right? So you kind of go branch down 3 branches, right? So number 1 is in the education, to provide value, right? In the education category. Number 2, you're in the sports category, right? And then below that, even further down, it's in the soccer category, right? So the more specific that you can be to basically help this ideal person, this ideal avatar that you ultimately want to help, the better it's going to be for you, because the more specific it's going to be, and the more this person is going to resonate with this specific person, right? If that makes sense. So that's number 1, provide value. And then once you start doing that consistently for a long period of time, your audience will start to grow, and you'll kind of like create like this, like this fan base, right? Where people are like, oh my goodness, I love this guy. He has so much informative information on the internet. Like I love following this person, right? And then eventually people will start like hearing your recommendations, like, oh my goodness, like what supplement do you take to become a better soccer player? Like what do you eat to fuel your soccer workouts or something like that, right? Well, then you could just tell them like, oh yeah, well normally I eat this, I eat that, and then like I happen to get sponsored by this FlexPro meal, right? By this FlexPro meal delivery meal prep delivery service. And yeah, I've been having some of their meals. They're super delicious. They're super tasty. I have one every other day, blah, 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 right? So that's kind of like how this entire process works. But I just don't want people going into this or just thinking to themselves that, oh, because I want to have this sponsorship, because I want X sponsorship, I'm going to start creating content. Like, no, it should be the other way around. You should do this because you enjoy doing it, because you actually want to help other people, or just because you simply enjoy creating either educational content or entertaining content, right? And then as a byproduct, as a result, as like the cherry on top, you may get other companies reach out to you and say, oh my goodness, hey, we'd love to sponsor you, we'd love to promote you, blah, 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 right? So do it. So to answer your question, don't do it just to get sponsored, or at least that's how I did. I did not do any of this to get sponsored. I did all of this because I genuinely enjoy doing all of this, right? It is my lifestyle. It is my life. I do this. Like it's who I am basically, right? And other people can kind of like tell like, oh my goodness, this guy is super passionate about this. He has an amazing audience where people like absolutely love what he has to say. Let me reach out to this person, right? So hopefully that kind of answered your question, Sean. If you have any other specific questions on that, please let me know. I know this is more of like a different type of video, but I thought whatever type of questions you guys may have for me, like why not share it with you guys, right? Of course, this is going to be mainly within like fitness, health, mindset, all that stuff. But do you guys have any other questions specifically when it comes to social media? As you guys know, I'm pretty big on social media. I genuinely enjoy doing it. I started doing this in like 2018, so I have a lot of, I guess, knowledge and a lot of experience when it comes to this and like growing a platform, right? So yeah, I'll let you guys go. Any questions, just let me know, and I'll see y'all soon. Peace. Now, if you want to be around a community of like-minded people just like yourself who will educate you, motivate you, and inspire you to absolutely demolish your health and fitness goals, come join the Barbarian Squad down below. I guarantee you, you will not regret it one single bit, and I'll see you inside.